technical research ships were used by the United States Navy during the 1960s to gather intelligence by monitoring, recording and analyzing wireless electronic communications of nations in various parts of the world. At the time these ships were active, the mission of the ships was covert and discussion of the true mission was prohibited. The mission of the ships was publicly given as conducting research into atmospheric and communications phenomena. However, the true mission was more or less an open secret and the ships were commonly referred to as spy ships. Function: these ships carried a crew of U.S. Navy personnel whose specialty was intercepting wireless electronic communications and gathering intelligence from those communications. In the 1960s those personnel had a U.S. Navy rating of communications technician, or court, in order to transmit intelligence information that had been gathered back to the United States for further processing and analysis. These ships had a special system named Technical Research Ship Special Communications, or TRSSCOM. This Earth-Moon-Earth communications system used a special gyroscope-stabilized 16-foot parabolic antenna, which can be seen aft of the main superstructure in the accompanying photographs of the Belmont and Liberty. Radio signals were transmitted toward the Moon, where they would bounce back toward the Earth and be received by a large 84-foot parabolic antenna at a naval communications station in Cheltenham, Maryland or Waiawa, Hawaii. Communications could occur only when the Moon was visible simultaneously at the ship's location and in Cheltenham or Waiawa. The gyro-stabilization of the antenna kept the antenna pointed at the Moon while the ship rolled and pitched on the surface of the ocean. These ships were classified as naval auxiliaries with a hull designation of AGTR, which stands for Auxiliary, General, Technical Research. 5 of these ships were built with hull numbers of 1 to 5. The first 3 ships of this type were converted from World War II-era Liberty ships. The last 2 ships were converted from Victory ships. The former Liberty ships' top speed of 11 knots limited the first 3 AGTRs to missions of slow steaming on station with a minimum of transits. Victory ships' sustained speed of 18 knots enabled Belmont to shadow Mediterranean Sea operations of the Soviet helicopter carrier Moskva in 1969. All of the technical research ships were decommissioned and stricken by 1970. One of these ships' crew received a Presidential Unit Citation for heroism in combat. The US Liberty was attacked, severely damaged and 34 crew members killed by shelling, napalm bombing and torpedoing from Israeli jet fighter aircraft and motor torpedo boats on June 8, 1967. The US Jamestown was awarded a Meritorious Unit Commendation along with the US Oxford, through research and the compilation of extremely valuable technical data. US Jamestown and US Oxford contributed most significantly to the overall security of the United States and other free world forces operating in support of the Republic of Vietnam. Signed E.R. Zumwalt, Admiral, USN, Chief of Naval Operations. For specifications of these ships, see Liberty ship and Victory ship. Ships of the AGTR type. Oxford class US Oxford 1961, 1969, US Georgetown 1963, 1969, US Jamestown 1963 to 1969, Belmont class US Belmont 1964, 1970, US Liberty 1964 to 1968. Environmental research ship. 3 smaller ships. Former Army freight supply ships converted by Navy to light cargo ship vessels and then to environmental research ship had a similar mission. In contrast to the high freeboard of the AGTR Liberty and Victory hulls, the Aja decks were low and vulnerable to boarding from small craft. The US Pueblo, technically still in commission, has been held by North Korea since its attack and capture on January 23, 1968. Ships of the Aja type: US Banner, US Pueblo, US Palm Beach. Auxiliary General USNS ships. 3 technical research ships were operated as USNS ships with a military sea transportation service, civilian crew and a Navy detachment conducting the mission operations. 2 ships were Maritime Commission C-1 MAV-1 types. 1. USNS LT James E. Robinson was a VC-2 SAP-2 type that operated in this role December 1960 to April 1964 before being reclassified AK-274 and resuming cargo operations. USNS Private Jose F. Valdez USNS LT James E. Robinson type. USNS Sergeant Joseph E. Muller